Greetings, travelers and fence builders. We're back here at the storage yard. That's what we're calling this job, a storage yard. We've got most of the panels up. I'm going to talk to the owner. He may want to put a couple more on the ends. We got 4 of them left. I dug them out of the weeds. And this stain here is actually bringing this H grade up to D or C. Let me show you its features. Also, there's one of those. There's a crawfish tower. Before I leave, I'm going to fish one out. They showed me how to do it on the YouTubes. So we're using a water-based stain from Ace Hardware. It's called Redwood Stain. $18 a gallon. So far we got about 3 gallons up. This wood is very thirsty. Now, Kev, how'd you mount this? Well, we staggered the panels, and as I looked at them, the ends of many of these panels were rotten, split, and so I just brought them past the post and ran screws right through the planks and the supports into the new 4x4. But much stronger. There was no way to butt them up against there with the way they were rotten. But I think for its purpose it's going to work. Oh, I hope that stain, it'll cover it up pretty good. You can see over here. It's not bad. Good from far, far from good. It's one coat. You could do 2, 3. You had this was not a storage yard, but a real residence. What else is going on here? Here's the back side. We're not sure if we're going to paint it yet. We'll get the outside done and tell the owner when we do the inside. You can see our mounting procedure here. So run screws right through here into the post and then stagger them. Now another project is this roll-up door on the container. It's in pretty bad shape, and its construction is very similar to a garage door. It has panels going horizontal, wheels on the ends, and a track. And if the wheels are bad, the hinges are bad, it's all cattywampus. It's probably why the container was purchased cheaply. This door's... Now there's 3 ways to do it. Rework the door, new wheels, tighten everything up, get it to roll. Also at the top is a garage door spring. It runs horizontal and it's twisted under tension, and over time they loosen, they get weak, and you can tighten them. It's kind of dangerous the way it's set up. Know what you're doing, but you can tighten that spring and that'll help lift it. It's tough to lift right now. The other remedy is to cut an opening in the middle of this door. Leave the door, secure the door to the floor and the walls. Just leave everything in there. Take a side grinder and cut that metal out and put in a 3-foot door, a regular pedestrian door with a lock set, knob, and a deadbolt. Because everything in there's no lawnmowers or dune buggies or anything. There's lock sets and lights and storing odds and ends that you would use remodeling a house. There's ceiling panels and stuff that easily could go through a 3-foot door and make it a lot easier. Once the door's enclosed, you could panel this outside by screwing into that metal with some paneling and paint it like you would the exterior of a house. So we haven't decided on that yet, but that's one project. And of course that bottom there is pretty rotten. I don't know what he's going to do, but we'll see. What's going on over here at the G20? There's some sort of party going on under there. Let's see what's going on under the G20. Oh, I see. We're missing a transmission. Ladies and gentlemen, the transmission has left the chat. Well, about 2 weeks ago, I started to lose reverse. It was shuddering and pausing when you accelerate. And on automatic transmissions, if you start losing your reverse, you will soon lose your first gear, and then you'll start losing them all. So it's a good symptom when you start losing reverse. Transmission's got to go. So I sent it off to rehab. Nice guy, about 3 miles from here, has his own shop. And he's going to rebuild the 4L60E transmission. All new insides. Same housing. Same numbers, if that matters to you. But what I got to do, and it's recommended by most shade tree mechanics, any mechanic would do this. What we got here on an automatic transmission is called the flex plate. The flex plate is pushed by the starter, gets things spinning. Behind this flex plate, take these bolts off, is a seal. I've heard people say, oh, your main seal is going. Well, that's what it is. It's a seal on the back of the engine. And we're going with the precision bearings and seals. Made in Taiwan. It's 20 bucks. And now's the time to change it. Now, I'm not going to show you. There's plenty of YouTube videos on how to change the seal. That's what it looks like. And once I take the flex plate off, you run a little screw into the old seal, a little wood screw, and get a claw hammer or pry bar and pull. And you can do it on either side and pull, and this will pop out. The new seal, this edge needs to be dry as it goes in there, and this side needs to be lubed. You can use engine oil, white lithium grease, assembly grease, but it's important that this outside edge is dry and the surface that it's going into is dry. You don't put grease in there, but you do put grease on the inside part. And putting the new one in is center it. You can use the old seal turned around and beat on that. We did that with the rear axles, axle bearings. Or you take a 4-inch piece of PVC pipe and it fits right on there and start tapping it in. You want to make sure that these edges don't crimp or fold, and so you just tap it in there gently, get it all the way around even, and that is your main seal, your rear engine main seal. Many mechanics just say, wow, your main seal is gone. And it basically, once I get the flex plate off, I'm sure I'm going to see some oil on the back of the engine where this has failed or just worn out. But now's the time to do it. You got the transmission out. That's the only way to replace this seal, is with the transmission out. You can't get in there otherwise. Older models, they have a 2-piece seal and you can do it. But with the 95 G20, we'll take that flex plate off. Now the flex plate is on there. Those bolts are about 70 pounds torque on them, and I'm pretty sure those are original, 270,000 miles. what I like to do is tap on them a little bit, give them a little wake-up call, maybe some PB blaster, but I don't think it's going to get in there. And I put the torch to it, not real hot, not red hot, but just warm them up, because there's Loctite on those bolts. And the bell housing had some Loctite, or the transmission converter bolts had a little bit of Loctite. And so I'll use a little dot of Loctite on the bolts after I get them off, and put that flex plate back on after I change out the seal. Well, that's what's going on around here. What's going on in your world? Of course, we're working right on dirt and gravel. That makes it fun. You can't do that, Kev. You need a shop. You need a garage with a concrete floor to do a transmission. No, we just do it on the dirt. We'll have blocks and cribbing and ramps, and we'll do it Egyptian style. We'll get it up in the air and slide her on there. Pretty easy to come off. The exhaust did not have to come off. The starter did not have to come off. You have 4 or 5 bolts towards the top of the housing. 2 or 3 at the bottom. There's electrical connections, just 2 main ones that come off. There's a shift gizmo that comes off the transmission before you pull it out. Transmission lines came off smooth. I didn't see any problem. Don't forget your dipstick. The dipstick tube has to be loose and free of the transmission. Sorry, I didn't. We're talking about your transmission here. That muffler tape on the crossover is looking a little ragged. Maybe I'll dress that up. I don't know, but for sure I'm going to clean it, the back of the engine, with all that oil behind that flex plate, and transmission about 1/4 inch above that cross exhaust pipe. It slides right across it, in past the starter, so I didn't have to take anything apart as far as exhaust. And we'll just put it right back. Now the other thing I do, I'm here alone, got planks and logs and all kinds of stuff to prop it up as I jack it up. But I'll run a ratchet strap from the body of the vehicle to the underside of the transmission. As I'm lifting it, I'll tighten that ratchet strap as kind of a safety belt. Anything goes cattywampus, it'll catch it. It won't fall on my head or my hand or my foot. And I don't know if you can see. Maybe you can't see. You can see it. You see that daylight coming in through there? That's because the engine cover is off up in the van, so it gives you access to the top front of the transmission. There's a couple, 2-3 bolts up there you need to get to. Made it real easy to get in there. If you're in a truck or a car, you have to run extensions to get way back to those bolts. With the van, you take the doghouse, as they call it, engine cover, take it off, and you're right on top of the transmission, so access to those bolts is easy. Well, I've done my research on the YouTube and I read my manual, so we're pretty much ready to go. Taking it down was a little, well, you get a transmission bath. I know once a year you need to bathe in some transmission fluid, so we had that. And any day now I'm going to get a call, a text, come get your transmission. And happy that it had happened here. I have this space, the storage yard. There's electrical, and the owner said, I said, it's going to take 2 weeks for this thing to get built. Not because it takes that long, it's the guy is backlogged for transmission work, which is good. He's popular, does good work. We'll see. So thank the owner for letting me stay. I said, I'll go camp here. Oh, no problem. And I have work right outside the door, so this worked out just fine. This is much better than some lonely road in Georgia or somewhere where your transmission goes out. So that's what's going on here at the storage yard. Well, keeping you updated on all the exciting events here in beautiful Picayune. 77 degrees today, 60 tonight. A week ago it was 28. Mardi Gras got kind of canceled last Tuesday. High winds and rain, so the floats all stopped at about noon. But people still partied over in the quarter, and they had an announcement that when you come to Mardi Gras, because of the high winds, no lawn chairs. Couldn't bring any lawn chairs. I guess they blow around. And also, they weren't going to bring any porta potties, because I guess the high winds pushed the porta potties over. They recommended that you go to the bathroom before you participate in the parade and activities. So you're going over there for a good 6-7 hours. Make sure you go potty before you go, because there was not going to be any porta potties. That's a deal breaker for me. I've been there 4 times. I've seen it. I think if you're in the area, go check it out. Weather is always a problem. One year it's 80 degrees, and the next year it's 35 degrees. And of course this year was high winds and rain, and that's scared the officials, so they cut it short. Okay, that's your update down here in the bowels of the G20. All right, hope you're having a good one. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.